Hey guys, my name's Melanie Tam, and today I will be talking to you guys about the postgraduate college life, going into interior design and trying to get the job. So for interior design, this goes for anyone applying for a interior design job. Goes from entry-level internships and so on. So of course the first thing you're going to need is your portfolio. So what you're going to need is a portfolio. Here I have a portfolio I bought from, I believe, Aaron's Brothers. I bought this from Aaron's Brothers, and it's just a simple black portfolio where I can include my work, and there's these clear slips. And there's about, I believe, 40 something pages in this portfolio. So why do you need your portfolio? Well, you need a portfolio so you can demonstrate your work or show your work once you meet the hiring manager. So how I organize my portfolio is that I include my best work on top, and I try to keep things that are relevant. I keep renderings in my portfolio or work in my portfolio that I feel represents myself the best. Well, in your portfolio, I believe you should put your best work in your portfolio, most definitely. You want to try to exclude out work that are okay, that it looks nice, but it's not something you really want to put in your portfolio. The reason why is because you don't want the hiring manager to see photos and begin to compare it. Like, oh, this person has really good work, but oh my gosh, this is horrendous. What am I looking at? So you just want to include your best work in your portfolio. Instead of including 15 different renderings, just include maybe 6 really good ones or 3 good projects. That's what you want in your portfolio. And I went to a printing center. I just printed out my work. So that's what you can do. And I organized it by commercial projects, hospitality, or even residential design. So that's how you want to label everything. You want to make sure you label it, because it definitely helps when people are looking through your pictures, and if they're still asking you questions, that they're able to read your portfolio and see what you've been doing without even asking you. Like, here I have an axonometric view of my floor plan, and it says ground floor, so they get a gist of it. So that's something that you want to do in your portfolio. It's good to have this in hand. And another thing is that I've begun to do this just because sometimes going to print your portfolio out can be kind of pricey. And not just that, it's not just doing one print. You have to print multiple copies sometimes because you can't get the coloring right. Because sometimes when you print something out on your portfolio or print something out at the printing center, that it might show up really bright on Photoshop on your screen, but when you print it out through the printer, it comes out darker, and you have to adjust the brightness through the curves and everything. So that's why I started showing my portfolio on an iPad. And the good thing about using the iPad is that you can tell the person who's interviewing you that you want it to be more eco-friendly. And that's something that a lot of firms look for. I mean, a lot of firms are trying to get LEED accredited and everything. So that's one cool thing. And who doesn't love showing or even viewing something on an iPad instead of a piece of paper? I mean, we're in the 20th century, so it's just a really cool thing. And the reason why I like using an iPad to show as my portfolio instead of an actual portfolio, number one, it's lighter, it's easy to carry, you can update your portfolio really easily. I'm just using photos on the iPad. And another reason, the main reason why I'm using an iPad instead of my other portfolios, because the picture quality is so much better than printing it out. That's like number one. So if you have an iPad or something to display your portfolio, I recommend using that. It's just really easy to flip through and screen. So yeah, I recommend using an iPad. Also, when you're using your portfolio, make sure that you're ready to explain your projects. Like, practice at home before you go to your interview, because one time someone asked me, can you explain your projects to me? Just make sure you know what you're talking about, and you should, because you designed these spaces, and include, your concept, your story, how did you build up to it, and just practice that. So if you're looking through Craigslist, for example, and you're going to art/media section looking for an interior design job, yes, a lot of interior design jobs gets posted there, but just know, look in the architecture section/engineer. A lot of interior design jobs gets posted there as well, because as an interior designer, you learn AutoCAD. You learn a lot of programs similar to what architecture uses, but you just want to look in that section as well, and don't be afraid of applying. So the next step, resume and cover letter. Resume and cover letter, two things that are very, very important, because those are the things that you'll be using to introduce yourself before the designer really gets to know who you are and how your personality is. Well, your cover letter and resume, what I recommend, especially for designers, not just interior designers, is to get a resume template, cover letter template online. I went to Creative Resume. I'll link it down below. And I bought a template for $12. It was this really simple template, but I got to adjust it through Photoshop. You can also adjust it through Illustrator and Word document, I believe, but I just got a simple black and white design resume template. The reason why you want a resume template, and I talked to someone from Gensler who worked as marketing, is that, okay, Gensler, they get maybe 1,000+ applicants yearly, and you want to stand out from every single applicant out there. So how do you stand out? Well, resume templates. Of course, the person looking at applicants are bored of looking at resumes from Word documents that are just so simple. So just get a simple resume template and just find one that is nicely designed, one that fits you, and fill that up and send it as a PDF. It's as simple as that. And honestly, I've landed a lot of job interviews just from using resume templates, because that's something that helps you stand out really clearly as well. Also, another tip I have when you're presenting your resume is have your resume presented in manila folders. Why? It's just cleaner. You want to just present it in a folder. Just, it just seems more well organized. For your resumes, you should buy a different type of paper. For me, I bought resume paper. It just feels a little bit different. It's a little bit harder, just because design is everything. Texture, feeling, how it looks. So you just want to make sure your resume and cover letter is definitely well presented, and you can also paper clip your business card to it if you have it as well. Okay, next, when you're landing the interviews and you're going to these interviews, don't get discouraged if you don't get on your first try, if you don't get your job through your first interview or your second, third, fourth, or fifth. Sometimes it takes that many tries through interviews to actually land the job. And even if you're going to interview for a firm that you don't really like, I know it kind of seems discouraging, like, why am I going to a firm to get interviewed if I really don't want to work there? Well, the reason why is because you want to build up your communication skills. You want to continue going to these interviews even if you don't really want them, just to build up your communication skills. You're going to be better at talking, you're going to be really quick, and you're going to be ready to answer those questions, because honestly, a lot of interviewing people or hiring managers, they ask the same questions, if you've gone to a couple interviews. So never get discouraged. Always have a positive outlook on things. It might take 5 interviews before you find the right place. For all you post-college graduates for interior design, I just recommend that you go into the design world by starting off with an internship. And if not internship, maybe entry-level design position, or a design assistant or junior design assistant. Usually now, for even junior design assistants, they require 1 to 3 years design experience at a firm. So definitely go into internship if you haven't interned before. And even if you have interned before, go into another internship, because you can always work your way up. Sometimes you'll intern for 3 months and they'll accept you into the firm. So definitely go about doing that. And for all the interior designers that are still in college, I recommend doing internships, and more internships. Like, even if they're non-paid, most likely your internships are going to be non-paid. But guess what? You can get them, transferred into college credits. That's definitely a plus. And they're not going to have you doing major projects, because you're just getting mentored through those for those college credits, especially if it's an unpaid internship. So I definitely recommend that because that's what's going to get you up there. For me, I did 4 or 5 internships within my 4 years of college for interior design. Some weren't even that long. Some were for 2 months. Some were for 6 months or even a year. Try to get as much experience as you can. Definitely recommend that. So that's pretty much it. I hope my tips will help you guys if you guys are entering into the design world or starting off or looking to start off. If you guys have any questions, definitely comment below. And I hope you guys like this video. Thanks. Bye.